All right, so now when we multiply monomial radicals times binomial radicals, or even binomials times binomials, it's the same idea as what we were doing when we were dividing our fractions. Again, we have to be cognizant of these numbers right here. And if we're not aware of these numbers, then this is not going to end well for us. So make sure you know this set of numbers or you have them written down somewhere that you can easily access. So I'm going to take this entire thing and I'm going to multiply it by this first entire thing. So 3 times 5, what's outside gets multiplied by what's outside. That's 15. 2 times 6 is radical 12. And I'm going to take this entire thing and multiply by this entire thing. So 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay? I look to see if I can add these. I can't. This has a radical 12. This has a radical 6. So adding these is not going to happen. So then the thing I'm going to look for is a perfect square that goes into 12. So the number over here that divides into 12 is 4. So that becomes 15 radical 4 radical 3, because again, 4 times 3 is 12. It's always got to be one of these numbers. Do any of these numbers divide into 6? Nope. None of the numbers divide into 6, so that's going to stay as a radical 6. The square root of 4 is 2. Notice again how I'm multiplying. So that becomes 30 radical 3 plus 12 radical 6. Can I add these together? No. One's a radical 3, one's a radical 6. Do any of these numbers divide into either one of these radicals? No. So this is my final answer. Okay? It doesn't matter what order. If you wrote 12 radical 6 first and 30 radical 3 second, that's fine too. Over here, we're going to do 3 radical 6 times 4 radical 5. So that's going to become 12 radical 30. 3 radical 6 times 3 radical 3. So that's going to become 9 radical 18. Negative radical 2 times 4 radical 5. So that's going to become negative 4 because it's going to be a 1 times 4. And then 2 times 5 is 10. And then negative 1 radical 2 times 3 radical 3 would be negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3. 2 times 3, which is radical 6. I'll look to see if I can combine any of these. Well, this is a radical 30, a radical 18, a radical 10, and a radical 6. So I can't add or subtract any of them. So the only other thing I can look for is, do any of these numbers divide into any of those numbers over there? So do any of these numbers divide into 30? Nope. Do any of these numbers divide into 18? Yes. 9 goes into 18, doesn't it? So I got to go further. So 12 radical 30 plus 9 radical 2, because 18 is 9 times 2, and 9 is one of our numbers on the list. Do any of these numbers divide into 10? Nope. Do any of these numbers divide into 6? Nope. So those are just going to go along for the ride. So 4 radical 10 minus 3 radical 6. I know the square root of 9 is 3. And I know 9 times 3 is 27. So my answer would be this. And again, it doesn't matter what order you have these in, as long as you have all of them. None of the numbers divide into 30. None of the numbers divide into 2. None of the numbers divide into 10. None of the numbers divide into 6. I can't add these together because they're all different radicals. So this entire thing is my answer.